I'm constantly being told that insurance is a people business. But is it really doing enough for and investing enough in its own staff and its own people? Also, as an industry often described as boring, confusing and untrustworthy, what can the industry do to up its game to make sure it gets its fair share of the new talent pool coming through? Now, I'm Anthony Gould, Group Editor-in-Chief of Incisive Media, and joining me in the studio today to discuss these issues is Chris Hanks, ACII, Deputy President of the Chartered Insurance Institute, and also a key member of the task force behind the recent Ordinary Declaration. Now, Chris, welcome to the studio. I want to start off with the sort of schools and college leavers and universities. Are they providing the right skills for a 21st century insurance industry?
I think the education of our young people has undergone some quite dramatic change, not just with the education system, but in the lives that our young people lead. And whereas I think the education system is giving them a broader set of social skills when they leave school or college, I'm not sure they're equipping them with the skills that I would look for in some of my young people. For instance, I think the technical, mechanical skills that many people used to have, they used to mend their own car, they are missing from much of school life at the moment. So when I look for an underwriter that understands trade process or understands what a Cooper does, they have no idea what I'm talking about. The propensity to spend time texting actually means people do not compose letters in the way that they should do, let alone technical, comprehensive reports that could go to a board for analysis. Those sort of skills are missing from our people, and we have to start back at stage one with them.
Yeah, and what about things like maths?
Maths, I would say, is one of the weaker areas, the sort of maths that I would like in my people. I think some of the broad economic work is okay. Some of the very technical algebra work is still done, but the practical economic data, that how to interpret analysis and use numbers actually to see reality, I think that's missing.
So Chris, what do you think that insurers and brokers should be doing right now to maximise the talent they have got?
Well, I think for most of the kids leaving schools and universities, they have no idea about our business. Sometimes we're a last resort choice. And I think both brokers and insurers have got to open up the minds of our people to what great opportunities and what interesting, rewarding and very varied careers are available. There is room in the insurance industry for chemists, for physicists, for people who do surveying, for people who want to work on maths, for technicians, for human skills, for nursing skills. We have a huge range of skills and capabilities needed in our business. So there's almost jobs for everyone. And I don't think we get that message across at all.
Okay, what can the industry do to get that industry across and get those people and get more top talent in?
Well, part of it is to do with our image, which I'll come back to, but some of the practical things we can do is actually bring insurance much more alive to the people in our schools and universities. We need to be on campus more. We need to have better support material. We also need to do something about the image that we have. We don't have the dynamic, thrusting, energetic, engaging image. Many people see insurance as somewhere to go for their cheap motor insurance. That is not our industry. That's a very small part of the business we do. And somehow we've got to change the perceptions. And I think it is working on campus, it's working with career people, it is getting some of the people in our industry out into their schools and colleges.
Okay, in terms of focusing on the actual people who already are in the industry, what advice would you give to employees who just feel that their employers, their bosses, are not giving them enough, are not helping them advance enough, so they're getting sort of dispirited and unable to move on?
I think that's a big issue for our profession. Some of it stems back to the fact that because, although people think there's loads of money in insurance, and there's a lot of money that spills around, actually our profit ratios are actually quite tight. So therefore we're always looking to cut expenses. And the training, development, staff development budgets are one of those that get hit quite early on. So I think there's a real role for the industry to spend more on its training and development. And secondly, I then think if they've got the right training and development, they've got to get their people moving across their careers. There seems to be an idea that you can only get on insurance if you keep going up the ladder. I subscribe to the belief that for our younger people, what they should be doing until they're 25, 30 is building bags of skills, different capabilities, lots of different experiences. And I think the responsibility is on the employers to make sure we're moving people across our industry, acquiring those skills, acquiring those capabilities. So when that moment of time comes when they've got a manager's job or a job of some seniority, they've got enough skills and capabilities, not to just to do an okay job, to do a very good job. And that gives them a platform to go on and do something bigger. I think we're very weak at that.
Okay, I mean, one last thing probably before we finish is, obviously you've been involved in the Ordinary Declaration, and a big part of that is about achieving charter status, and it's about education and training. Now, can that be used perhaps as a fillip to, one, attracting new people, and two, growing your own better? I mean, is that part of what it's about?
I've been around this whole business for some time. We've talked about professionalism, we've talked about the need to get back to some of the very basic things that underpin the way we behave and the way we trade. And I've seen a number of initiatives start off. Many have fallen fallow. I think the Ordinary Declaration gives us almost a once in a, if not a lifetime, certainly in a decade time, to turn that into reality. I think that the traumas we saw in the financial markets, the pain that the banks have been through, which insurers have by and large escaped from, but I actually think that the opportunity is there to grasp that nettle and say, come on guys, it's about time we turn this idea of ours becoming more professional into reality. And I think for that reason, the Ordinary Declaration is really the flag, stuck at the top of the hill of professionalism that we should gather around. If the industry looks at what the Ordinary Declaration says, the requirements it makes of companies for continual learning, provide the right level of skills and capability and training, to make sure we have good outcomes for our customers, that we behave properly. If we get those ingrained into ourselves, ingrained into our business, and we live that message, I think this will be a much better business, better for the people in it, better for our customers, and I think the regulator will actually find it a much better industry to police.
Okay, thank you very much, Chris. That's all we have time for today, and thank you very much for watching, and see you again soon. Thank you.